Armor Productions. Double kill, double kill. Killing the jar, killing the jar.
Video games. They have been a controversy in the media for many years. Are they worth our time? Do kids play them too much? Do they make us stupid? And lately, are video games getting too violent? And if so, who are they violent for? Although they've been viewed as a matter of household opinion and not for debate among state politicians, its circulation in the media is far from its end.
How violent is too violent?
For retail stores to sell violent video games to anyone under 18.
Have banned the selling of violent video games to children.
Violent video games have been proven to cause violent behavior in adolescents. Many video game studies lack any actual proof of aggressive behavior. Violence in video games can only have a negative effect on youth. Males between the ages of 13 and 18 say that playing video games has acted as a release. The rate of adolescent males arrested has increased with the increase of video game sales. The rate of adolescent males arrested has decreased with the increase of video game sales. Majority of teenagers involved in a deadly school attack showed an interest in violent video games. A fact by the United States Secret Service proves that only 1/8 of these attackers were actually interested in a violent video game. For example, Littleton, Colorado, April 20th, 1999, Columbine High School. Two high school students, Dylan Klebold and Eric Harris, commit, at the time, one of the biggest massacres on a school campus. With 15 dead, including the two shooters, the media searched for the answers to many horrifying questions. The biggest one being why.
It is 5:30 on this Wednesday, April 21st, and here is the latest on that deadly shooting in Colorado.
Everyone at my table was shot.
Everyone at my table was shot.
Everyone was at my
And
table
me,
was shot,
except
and then
me.
they left, and they're like, "I gotta reload. I gotta reload."
Immediately after discovering that the two teens took interest in the video game Doom, where players are in a first-person shooter and kill monsters in a dungeon, people began pointing fingers. Even though the two boys did not play the game that much, autopsy reports on the shooters even showed that there were some major psychological problems thriving in the young teens' minds. Issues traced for deeper than those that may have been brought on by any video game. So we know what the media thinks, but what about the public? Teenagers, children, parents, video game players, and people who've never picked up a controller.
Yes, my children play video games, but they're like Mario Kart, Star Wars, things like that. I think it can lead to violence if it's not monitored correctly by parents.
Okay, so Sally, do you play video games?
I do not. Not in a long time.
Do you have any children?
I do not.
Okay.
I would not curse myself with that.
Well, how do you feel about, do you have any feelings towards video games and the amount of violence that's in them?
I think it depends on the kid's age as far as their usage of the games and the type of violence that's involved in the games. I believe it's a parental responsibility that watches over what their children do in their spare time.
Do you guys play video games?
I
do any of them have like bugs? You know what I mean, like violence?
like Modern Warfare 3.
Yeah. So, okay, you don't play video games, right?
No.
Do you think video game violence has an effect on our youth?
Yes.
Like, what do you mean?
I
Like when people play airsoft games, people think they're like in the game because they have the helmets and stuff like that.
Interviewed you for a documentary we're doing for our English class
Sure.
on video games.
Yeah.
So do you play video games?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Do any of them have violence in them? Any
A
type of
few,
violence?
but I personally don't like all those die-hard video games.
Oh, okay. So do you feel like video games and violence in video games have some type of effect on kids who play them?
Absolutely. I've seen some kids that could have been great people, but all the games they get into, I think it just turns them around.
Okay, so do you play video games? I don't. You don't? Okay, so how do you feel about the amount of violence that's in today's video games?
I think it's crazy. I mean, video games should be for recreational purposes, not to sit there and kill people.
For doing something like getting in a fight at school or something like that, do you think that the appropriate thing would be to blame video games at any point?
Depending on why he got in trouble, yes, but otherwise, no.
So, do you think that it's ever okay to blame a violent situation or act that someone does in a school environment on video games?
Often, yes. Depends on the person.
Okay. Do you feel like it's ever appropriate to blame video games for violence in the school area?
I think they should take partial credit because that definitely does have an effect.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Start over. Go ahead, take one.
Anyway, do you have any children?
I do not. I would not curse myself with that.
So I'm gonna say the video games need to be put down, okay? Stop recording. Why did you get so close to my face, man?
You guys want to do an interview about violent video games? Okay, Lord. You have your facts all wrong anyway. Are you a phone?
No.